Thought I'd seen it all before. A world of trouble knocking at my door. But this ain't like nothing that I recall.
Welcome to In Crisis, Travel Retail Voices, our podcast series in which we speak to industry executives around the world to see how they and their businesses are coping with the COVID-19 crisis. I'm Martin Moody. Today we talk to Paula Short, co-founder of Beauty Boulevard, a UK-based company that sprung from the enormous success of a product line called Glitter Lips, whose USP is that not only will it get you an amazing amount of attention when you wear it, but that it's also drink-proof, kiss-proof, and party-proof. Not a product to wear if you are a wallflower, as Paula says, but sure as heck to get you noticed. Now, Paula has subsequently driven the success of a company and a brand portfolio built on values of transparency, trust, and innovation. A vibrant young cosmetics house based on instinct and passion more than any Excel sheet business plan. It's an entrepreneurial formula that has worked a treat on domestic markets and found its way into travel retail, where it's set to accelerate even faster following the appointment of Gary Maxwell's newly formed G-Max Travel Retail to handle Beauty Boulevard in the channel. Now, listeners will recall my podcast with Gary just last week, and I'm betting that the alliance between these two irrepressible human spirits will be a winner. I spoke to Paula this week at her home in Lincolnshire, and I can promise you that you're about to listen to one of the most engaging, upbeat, delightful, and downright inspirational interviews you're likely to hear this year.
So, Paula, before you talk to me about your company, just tell me where you are now during this horrible COVID-19 situation and how you're coping with all that.
So me and my family are very lucky. We live in a lovely part of Lincolnshire, which it hasn't really been hit that badly from COVID-19, thank goodness. We've got lovely, rolling hills and, well, not many hills in Lincolnshire, but we've got lovely open spaces down there where all the horses roam free and we can walk the dog. And it's actually been a real happy experience. And I know I'm one of the lucky ones. I know a lot of people are under pressure, but I have to say, having my family back, my kids back, and everyone working from the same place, and my husband normally works away as well, so it's actually quite nice to see him, and we still get on after so many weeks of isolation. So I've actually enjoyed the time. I've made the most of it. I've tried to be extremely positive about every day, because why not? So we've been very lucky. We've been very cautious as a family, health and safety wise. And yeah, we've just made the most of the situation, and it's worked well.
All right. And how many kids are there, Paula?
Well, I say kids, they're not very kids anymore, but I've got 3 children and they're 23, 22 and 19. So they're not babies anymore. So it's nice. It's nice having like 5 adults in the house, really. So.
They remain kids forever because
they do to mummy and daddy. Yeah, definitely.
That's right. Now, you mentioned Lincolnshire. Paula, that's not a very strong Lincolnshire accent. So tell us about your background, where you're from, and how you came to be in Lincolnshire.
I often ask myself the same thing, Martin. So I'm Irish, obviously. Well, I hope it's still obvious.
It is.
I actually have lived in and around Lincolnshire on and off for 30 years now. So I came here very young. I came to Lincolnshire many, many moons ago with my parents and settled here. And my husband was lucky enough to meet me. And then we got married. And I've never left. And I love Britain. I love England.
Just take us back to Ireland, though. Whereabouts in Ireland?
I'm from Mayo, County Mayo, on the west coast of Ireland. So our nearest neighbours would be probably New York. I am right on the coast of Ireland. So it's a lovely space. I'm so proud of where I'm from. I'm passionate about where I'm from. The people are lovely. The scenery is lovely. The weather, not so lovely all the time. But I go back as much as I can. I still have family there. So I go back as much as I can, spend time. I love it there. Love it.
Yeah, it's a wild and wet Atlantic coast, isn't it? But it's absolutely gorgeous, lovely part of the world. Now, Paula, we're talking to you today about your business, of course, and with a look in particular at travel retail. So firstly, tell me about the business. When did you found it? What were the aspirations and what was the product focus?
In a nutshell, we had no focus. We had no aspirations, as a lot of business, I'm sure, when it starts off. All that drove us was excitement. And it sounds very kind of storybook, but the business, Beauty Boulevard, was built on friendship. And I know that sounds very bizarre answer, but me and my business partner, Rachel, created Beauty Boulevard. We started to sell a product, glitter lips, within our salon, and it took off extremely well. And initially, we didn't even tell anybody it was ours because we were afraid if it failed, we'd be those two women that tried to do a business once and it didn't work out. So we didn't tell anyone it was ours, and the sales were phenomenal. And it kind of grew from there. We had no plan. We hated the word strategy because we just didn't understand it. We had no plan. We had nothing in the works except passion, drive, and partnership. You know, if one says, "Oh, I'm not sure," the other say, "Go on, let's do it. Let's go. What'll happen?" So the growth has been phenomenal, and yeah, it was the friendship between me and Rachel that grew it in the first place, for sure. And
when was the first place?
So we first started Glitter Lips back in 2013 within our salon. We have a hair and beauty salon, Bennett's Hair and Beauty Salon in Lincoln, which we still do now. I'm still a Saturday girl in there making tea. And we started selling the products in there in November 2013. And then from there, we actually supplied a concession within Topshop in Oxford Street by May in 2014.
So this was a product that you created yourself, a concept you created yourself called Glitter Lips. Just tell us a little bit more about that for any, I used to call them readers, but now they're listeners that will be tuning into this. So
it's it does exactly as it says. It's a glittery lip product. However, the USP is it is not only will you get an amazing amount of attention when you wear it. That is a off the shelf guarantee. It's drink proof, it's kiss proof, and it's party proof. So it can last up to 8 hours. So you can go on a night out and you definitely will get the attention you desire. It's not a product for a wallflower. If you don't want to be the center of attention, don't wear it. However, if you like lashes and hair and nails and handbags and heels, you will love Glitter Lips. You will love it. It is just the icing on the cake.
Wow. And when you created it in terms of producing it, so you had some aspirations to sell it in decent volumes, I suppose. How did you go about that? I'm always fascinated by how businesses like yours just actually get off the ground.
Well, it'll come as a big surprise, Martin, that we were begging and borrowing and stealing people. Please, come on, help us a little bit. Come on. And it was, kind of, I don't want to say the word blagging our way through it to begin with, but it kind of was. We built some friendships with people, and initially, laboratory testing was tricky, making sure that we met all of the, the EU portal, cosmetic portal, all these things, really tricky things. But the biggest hurdle we definitely met was the minimum order quantities on a first run of cosmetics. I mean, we were being quoted minimum 12,000 pieces, and this was for a product we weren't even sure would sell. So after a lot of negotiation, we had to package some of the packaging ourselves. It didn't come pre-packed. We managed to convince a factory to do a run of 700 pieces for us. And even then we thought, how the hell are we going to sell 700 pieces? So our first order was 700. Our second order was 12,000. And our third order was 20,000. So
wow, that's the stuff of dreams, isn't it? Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, and who was the first order to, tell me?
So our first big order, we started to sell within our salon, and it was individual sales. And then we went to a beauty show, and other salons said to us, could we stock this? Could we stock this in our salon? And of course, that was our bread and butter. We knew the way that retail worked within a salon. So that was a natural progression for us. But our biggest retailer in the early days was Topshop in Oxford Street. We were in a concession within there with 5 products, I believe, to begin with. And that blew our socks off, that we, a hairdresser and a beautician from Lincoln could, without even trying or without actually knowing what the heck we were doing, managed to get a purchase order out of a store in London on Oxford Street.
Well, I think, of course, the answer is you knew exactly what you were doing. You just didn't know it at the time. But you were following an age-old tradition of entrepreneurs, which was to follow your instinct and to create products that you love and you believe in. And that's a recipe for so many success stories like yours. So then we roll the clock forward to today. Is your business all in the UK, Paula, or are you exporting at all?
No, luckily we have grown quite considerably. Obviously, with the current climate has hit our business as hard as anyone else's. We currently supply ranges to distributors in Dubai, Australia, Italy. We have a contract in Sweden, which is very new on the ground. We have distributor in Russia. But some of these are very new conversations, so it takes a long time to really build up a momentum within the countries. However, I have a new partnership with a fantastic brand building agency called Pink Parasol, and their bread and butter is building a brand. So they're backing, and as you say, I use the word entrepreneur, which, by the way, Martin, I can't even spell that word, which is quite ironic. It's just the passion again. It's the understanding, like you say, understanding the products. I think the combination and partnership with Pink Parasol and Beauty Boulevard myself, I am very, very excited to see if this is what we could achieve on our own. I can't wait to see what we can achieve with people who know what they're doing.
Well, and that's a good recipe too, of course, Paula. You have to know when to accelerate and how to accelerate without losing the qualities, of course, that have got you this very fast. So picking that partner is obviously important. How many of you now? You started as 2 people. Is there a few more to the team? I guess there must be.
Yeah, well, we've just relocated over to Manchester and we're now part of the Pink Parasol brand portfolio. So out of the original lineup and team, I'm afraid it's just me from the original Beauty Boulevard because of the relocation, because of everything in the pipeline that way. But the new team have brought amazing talent to the table, ideas, blue sky thinkers, electronics, websites, SEO, all the other packages have been brought. And I tend to work with outside help quite a bit. So I still work with all the individuals. We used to outsource logistics, outsource our web domain maintenance. So I still work with those individuals. But no, my business partner was very lucky to have a beautiful baby boy. So she stepped back from business for a while to concentrate on family life, and definitely the right decision for her. So it was just me left from the original 2-pack.
Well, there's not too much of the just, because you're driving it, and I can tell with a lot of passion and a great sense of fun as well as business acumen. Now, tell me, you haven't been in what we call the travel retail channel until now, but you've met up, as I understand it, with a certain Gary Maxwell, well-known figure in our industry. And of course, he was on this podcast series not so long ago, and that was great fun. Now, Gary set up his new company called GMAX Travel Retail, I believe, and he's going to be representing you, Paula. Is that right?
That's correct. So I was lucky to meet Gary. I think it was about January time, just before everything went on pause. And he's got a great energy. He and I got on really well initially. I felt like I'd known the man for years. His knowledge of travel retail is phenomenal. So I think the combination of my knowledge of product and Beauty Boulevard, plus what we can and cannot offer customers, and with his knowledge of the travel retail and the routes to market and the channels, I think it'll be a fantastic win. We've been successful in our own right. Beauty Boulevard have supplied Jet2 over the last year or so. We did a unique bespoke travel exclusive for them, and that has sold phenomenally well. And we were actually number 8 bestseller out of 35 cosmetics on their magazine, which for a new kid on the block, I was absolutely delighted. But I think with having the connection with Gary, I really think it'll be, well, I don't want to say a match made in heaven, because when you see us together, we don't really look like a couple, but I think we'll be a bit of a dynamic couple when we get out on the road, finally.
Yeah, well, Gary's business, I'm sure, once this nonsense with COVID-19 is over, is really going to take off. His reputation precedes him into this new business, and he's got a lot of energy. And of course, he's very motivated running his own company now, as opposed to working with Kevin and Andrew. So I'm sure it will be a great success. I would have to say he's hardly a wallflower either, Paula, although I don't see your glitter lips probably on Gary. So he won't be the face of the product, that's for sure.
Well, that's what I meant. My previous business partner, I could dress her up and put her out. I can't see that working. No offense to Gary, he's a lovely, fine man, but I don't see me pushing him forward as a model for my glitter lips. So, yeah.
We could try it, Paula. I mean, it could open up new markets for you. You just don't know. Sometimes you got to think out of the box.
Well, I think Gary just needs to take it for the team then and just go and do it, really. I like your thinking, Martin. I'll put it to him in the next meeting.
Let's see what happens. Okay. Now, tell me, Glitter Lips started it all, but looking at your website, you've diversified the product range. So what can the travel retail community expect to see?
So with our history in hair and beauty, I mean, we've been in hair and beauty for, 30 years or so. And my business partner, who I've still got all the business with, Rachel, my previous business partner, we have a fantastic ability within our hair and beauty salon. That is our market research. So when we want to know what customers want, we have all ranges, all scopes, all wallet sizes. We do our market research within our hair and beauty salon with very open women that have a good trust and a good relationship and friendship with us. So we've been able to evolve Beauty Boulevard to what we know women and men want within their makeup cases. So we've brought out our molten metal glitter eyeshadow range, which is does for your eyes what Glitter Lips does for your lips. It's a high impact, a real sparkle across the eyelids. So our trio set is what really did it for the travel retail. And we also, again, looking at the market, looking at our customers, seeing what they wanted, we created molten metal lip liquid, which is a vegan lip market. It's not done predominantly to vegan customers, but it can be used by everybody. But just to know that your products are that bit cleaner, that bit nicer, and that bit, better for the environment as well. So we've expanded the range quite a lot based on the feedback that we've done from our customer research. So yes, we're passionate about makeup, but we listen to what our customers want too.
Now, tell me, like every business owner, you've been affected, no doubt, very severely, and you touched on it earlier on by COVID-19. At least your business was well underway and established. I've spoken to people on this series who are just launching businesses. Gary, in fact, is one of them, and another woman called Miriam Sienta, who launched a brand called Baroque and Rose, just launching it now. And along comes this really big economic catastrophe and health catastrophe. How tough has it been for you, Paula? And what's your attitude to riding it out?
We could get completely frustrated by it. And I personally try and think that don't get angry about stuff I can't control, because otherwise it's just like, I don't know, raking water uphill. It's not going to make a difference. So it is frustrating, especially when you're a sociable person and you like working in teams. I think things like Zoom has helped hugely, because you can actually see a face and you can see the expression on their face when they speak about a project or a passion. It's hit the business hard, I have to be honest, Martin, because one of our biggest routes to market was airlines, and all airlines stopped immediately. I'm lucky that I have a e-commerce site. I've got a website here in the UK and which fulfills Europe, and we're also launching an e-commerce site in the US as we're at the very, very end of that. So I think the planning stages for our e-commerce sites, the maintenance and just making sure they're right, this situation of working from home has actually not stopped any of that, because it's all behind the scenes, it's all electronic, it's all internet based. So our e-commerce sites are still doing fairly well, but for the main kind of brick and mortar and travel retail, no, it's fairly stagnant.
That's right, indeed. Well, listen, I was wrong, obviously, earlier when I said you were new to travel retail. You were in the sector, but obviously now you're accelerating the presence and working with Gary. So we wish you well on that. I think, judging by what Gary's told me of you, Paula, and what I hear today, with your exuberance and your passion, you're not going to let a little thing like a global pandemic slow you down, are you?
Oh, I would never accept defeat against a pandemic. If ever there was going to be a challenge, this is it, isn't it? No, I think we just have to, tread water for now, make the best of the situation we have. But as soon as those gates open again and we're allowed to get on, I can't wait.
Well, listen, it's been lovely talking. I wish you well in that. Like all fellow business people, I too hope this horrible thing comes to an end soon, because I know how tough it is on businesses, big and small. In fact, this has touched all of us. But I can't wait to see how you develop in the channel, Paula. I look forward to you trying out some of your glitter lips on Gary Maxwell. I do believe that will take your business to whole new heights. But seriously, I wish you really well. Stay safe, and thanks for talking to me.
Thank you very much, Martin. Thank you very much for your time. Great chatting with you.
My pleasure.
And I swear one day we're gonna put this out behind us, and come what may, we will survive. I think it's safe to say that better times are gonna find us. Hope it won't be long till this trouble is gone.